All right, surprise! We just transitioned to two new faces, right? They're pretty good faces. I mean, both very good-looking individuals, but you have even more beautiful hearts. We are watching and producing episode 6 of Charmed and Disarmed with Andrew Carroll. To my right is
Kayla Breckenridge
and
Cody Breckenridge.
And today we are sipping on, what kind of tea did you make us, Cody?
It's green tea and some turmeric tea.
Ah, and what are the benefits of that?
Well, tea has been known to, from what I've read, improve your immune system, and there's antioxidants in it.
You're gonna have to be a little louder. And
there are antioxidants, I believe, in green tea, and I believe it helps your immune system.
A little bit of caffeine.
You can Google it. There's all kinds of stuff on the benefits of
tea. It is a little bit of caffeine, a little bit more gentle on the system than a cup of black coffee, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I feel like there's like 35 milligrams of caffeine in green tea, and there's like, 60 or 80 in a cup, like a regular cup of black coffee. I could be completely wrong. I've made up numbers before. This feels kind of right. Don't slay me in the comments for being caffeine ignorant, please. So
we're just roughing out some numbers.
We are. And yeah, we want to get into that.
We're really good at it, though.
We are good at it. So, Kayla, we just got done doing what I felt was a fantastic, more or less private yoga lesson. I mean, you guys even set the house up for me. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was very intimate.
And there was Spider-Man was here, which was a huge surprise.
He made an appearance,
He did, which was absolutely amazing. So tell me a little bit about your journey. I know that you guys are building BBloomed Yoga. Follow them on Instagram. Spell that out, because I think it's B_bloomed, right?
There's two, yeah. Hers is B_bloomed yoga.
Yep.
Mine is BBloomed yoga, all one word, but BBloomed yoga.
Right, okay. So does that make... So, simplify it again. So there's two Instagrams. But
B_bloomed yoga and BBloomed yoga.
Just without the underscore, basically.
Without the underscore. So if you forget the underscore, you're still going to get the same content, different content?
It's kind of each of our Instagram page.
Okay, it's each of their Instagram page. So tell me a little bit about... I know you invited me over because you're working on getting a certification, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. What's the goal? What's the timeline like? What are the requirements for becoming a certified yoga instructor?
So the basic one is a 200-hour training, and so I'm going to Salt Lake Community College to get my certification. So it's about a semester, 15 credits. Some people do it over many years. Some people do it all in one semester, and it's so yeah, I'll be done at the end of April.
Okay.
And then May, we want to start doing some retreats and doing some free classes at parks and stuff just to get our name out there.
That's awesome. And you guys are already doing a pretty good job of that. I really love your content on your Instagram pages. And I see you working in the local community with companies like Lucky Slice Pizza. What? Absolutely phenomenal food, great environment, wonderful staff. It's actually one of my favorite places to go and get a grab a slice of pizza too. So how did you guys start and establish that relationship?
With Lucky Slice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so every Friday for a while we would go down there to kick off our weekends, and we called it Freaky Friday. It was kind of our little way to ring in every weekend. Every weekend was like a holiday, basically, around this house.
It should be.
And it should be. And so because we were regulars there, they were launching this campaign to spotlight customers. And we were the first people they thought of, because we were always... What it really had to do was we didn't come in there and just, keep to ourselves and eat our food and leave. We would interact with the people, like with the people behind the counter, the managers. We would just, because of our kindness, people notice when you're kind and when you're actually genuinely interested in talking to people. They remember you. So that paid off in terms of building a relationship with them, where we can share content with each other's social medias and
we've got a mommy-based timeout here.
Hashtag yoga moms.
Hashtag yoga moms.
They're powerful.
Right? So, dude, I want to get here with you for a second and just talk about like when we met, man, because you just touched on something speaking about building your relationship with Lucky Slice, and you said that was built on a foundation of kindness.
All right.
So the first time you and I met, we were in a resiliency trainer training course to become resiliency training assistants at Hill Air Force Base.
You said resiliency a lot.
I did. It was that's a nickel they pay me every time I say resiliency. So cha-ching, cha-ching. That's not true. It'd be awesome if it was.
We made all that up.
We totally made that up. The first time I saw you and you started talking, I was like instant enemy. I don't know if I've ever told you this. Because like that dude does CrossFit. He's probably got this gorgeous wife and a beautiful family and way more stuff going on than I do. And it was
true. I do.
It was you know, it's not true. It's not true. I have way more stuff going on. No, I'm totally kidding.
He's a fantastic human.
No, and so I made this snap judgment about Cody, and I paid the price for it because it was mostly the CrossFit thing. I'm so anti. Like all those moms that won't get their kids vaccinated, I'm like anti-vaccination for CrossFit. But
you've done some CrossFit.
I have.
You talked about it and bragged about how some of the walls you've crushed. So come on,
he can't even let me get mine in there. So then we started talking, and I was like, "What? Did I just meet a soul brother?" Because we had lunch together, and this dude eats his whole lunch out of a lunchbox. There's no Tupperware in there.
That's not
true. He's just like all had meat and vegetables, salad. Like he's like, my lunchbox is the Tupperware. And it cracked me up. But
it's not far off. I mean, I don't like throw cottage cheese loose. I'll put that in.
Don't lie to the people.
It's like a big salad. It's just like a big salad.
Tupperware for Cody is a hollowed out bell pepper with the lid. It doesn't snap off. No, but we sat down and we broke bread together and we started to get to know each other, man, and we became fast friends like instantly.
It was the same day. It was the same day.
It really was.
Same day I met you. It was like I felt like we were stepbrothers.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. If we shoved all the tables out of the way so there was room for activities.
We did. We had plenty of room.
So then we just started hanging out and conversing more, and we have so many of the same values and ideas that kindness and compassion are the key to building good and meaningful relationships, right? Yes. So what brought you, and Kayla, obviously, I think, I've only gotten to know you a little bit, but, I mean, you're married to this man. You must share some of those values, too, and I can see it, and I can feel it when we're around each other, that your guys' family unit is beautiful. I love how you are raising your kids. I love your kids. Like I walked into your house and I just felt love.
Thanks.
So let's hear what got you guys there. What's your journey been like? Because it doesn't just happen overnight. I mean, there's some little unicorns out there who have just like had this figured out since they were babies. Your kids are probably going to be some of those. Yeah. But what was that journey like for you? What was really like, if you could pick out like one key event in your life that really showed you like what's important, can you do that?
Well, I know yours.
Oh, what's yours?
I've just always been this way.
You're a unicorn? He's told me that. He's told me that, actually. So, fine. You don't get to
brag,
participate.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, she's beautiful and she's not crazy. So
I'm a little
so
crazy.
on the girl matrix of
the hot crazy scale.
Hot crazy scale. Kayla's in that unicorn zone where they don't typically exist, where they're not crazy and they're beautiful. But that's just a joke. Beautiful women can be perfectly sane. But well, for me, it was just gaining awareness and mindfulness, because that pays off. I mean, tremendously in a marriage. I mean, women don't want husbands to be absent-minded, or they want you to be present. Like, they don't want you off in your head in the clouds thinking about something else. People want you to be, and when it comes to the home life, be present. That's what Lao Tzu says from the Tao Te Ching, and that's 2,500-year-old wisdom. Yes.
Oh, yes. So okay.
So my point is, there's a moment in my life. There were several moments. If you look at like a timeline, there's these events And over time, I started paying attention more and more to those events. Like as a younger man, we all gone through this. Women, men, we have these moments in our lives where if we decide we're going to learn from that stumble, we can change our outlook. But if we, kind of ignorantly ignore how we're contributing to some of the, bad and or good events, we can't really grow. And when it comes to being a husband and a father and a friend and a coworker, paying attention to my lack of mindfulness and awareness in the past is what helped me to develop a better sense of mindfulness and awareness to really make sure I'm connecting with people in a skillful way and interacting in a skillful way. Like, sometimes we put our foot, our foot in our mouth. That's an example of being unskillful. And so for me, it's paid off because she is a unicorn. She has this overwhelming capacity for loving kindness and not being judgmental. She's also super duper funny. Like Kayla's one of those people who she doesn't seem like there's a lot going on at first because she doesn't really say much, but it's because she's got 2 ears in one mouth and she understands that. And so I think I have 4 mouths in one ear.
I was just gonna say it's really important that she knows that she needs to listen because
I got all these mouths, you got all these ears.
You're just overflowing with wisdom at all times. And some of it's more valuable than others. But I've never walked away from a conversation with you, and you might pay for this in a minute or over time, but I've literally never walked away from a conversation with Cody where I'm like, that was a waste of my time. I'm always better off for his very well thought out rambling. And
yeah, he has this beautiful gift.
You do, man. And I'm happy.
I'm not sure if I'd call it rambling.
I'm happy and blessed to be your friend, man.
It is
and to be welcomed into your home. And,
man.
And spend time with your family. So
well, you've been tremendous, and that's Kayla knows I make strong friendships with people, but.
Well, that's why we're bromies. A lot of people don't know that about Cody
bromies.
Hashtag bromies. Absolutely.
My bro and my homie.
Yes.
So because we can be silly like that. Me and Drew and I, we can get goofy, and it's same with me and Kayla. Like we can get goofy and do some crazy and say some stupid silly things that makes us laugh, right? We all have this, but we can also talk about super personal things. And when I say personal, what I mean is like things about our mental world. Like we can have open conversations about selfishness, and like we can call each other out on being unnecessarily judgmental. Absolutely. That's very difficult for people who think that they have a best friend. A lot of those lifetime best friends, they've never actually called each other out on some because that can cause a lot of people to get defensive because they're not ready to look at that side of themselves. Right. So we and I know other people like this too, but in this unit right here, we're not afraid to look at that. Like you're able to give me crap about my. Just say wise ramblings.
Yes, the wise ramblings.
So you can point that out about me, and I can laugh it off. But some people get really hold grudges.
Well, here's the thing about you,
things.
Right? Is you're mindful about your ability to talk a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you even put conscious effort and mindful intention into listening more. I have seen that improve just in the time that we've been friends. That was actually one of the first things that I think you and I were talking about after we got done with that class. You were like, I need to be more mindful about listening to people. And you've put intentional steps into that, man. And I see that.
I appreciate that.
Having really good benefits in your life. Even I think you've even talked about how it's benefited your relationship with coworkers now.
Right, yep.
Which... That's a big deal.
Yeah, and my career in general. But I see the same thing in you. She can't really say anything because she has this baseline of this blissful benevolence, but because she's amazing. But people like you and I, us common folk,
right?
Not so as light as this lady warrior Buddha over here.
It's a pretty solid compliment.
It is.
I lionize you. My lioness. I hold you in high regard. But we have to strive to work on some of our tendencies to react in certain situations. And she has a lot of equanimity in terms of reactions. Now the one thing I know that gets her though is every now and then the kids will get her to kind of come out of that benevolent state. And that's one of the hardest. It's been in our journey. That's been the one thing that's the most difficult to have a consistent, skillful interaction with. You know exactly what I'm talking about being a parent.
Oh man, and I watch you guys parent and you homeschool, right? Mm-hmm. Yep, and both of your children are very intelligent. I love talking to your daughter.
Thank you.
And she's such a little ball of love and kindness and
the biggest personality.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are, I mean, like, in my opinion, you're raising good people, and I don't care what your belief system is or, like, what you're into politically or anything else. Like, if you're raising good little humans, you're killing it. You're crushing it, and you guys are doing that.
Thanks,
and,
man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've met your little girls. They're they're also fantastic. They're athletic. They're beautiful. They're smart. I mean,
thank you. Smart.
So, yeah, but now tell us something, because you talked about your new training job you're doing.
Yes.
Are you talking about that much right now? Do you want to talk about that?
I mean, it's a dream job for me, really.
You just went out of town to go to some training, didn't you, for it?
That's actually for, like, in my personal life. When I went to Presentation Power with Jonathan Sprinkles in Houston, Texas. Yes, it was fantastic.
Jonathan Sprinkles.
Jonathan Sprinkles.
Is that a real name?
It is totally his real name.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, and he is a phenomenal person. The conference was fantastic, and it's through connections that I made there. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. Is the reason that I started the podcast, right? I dropped the fear barrier at his challenge and went out and just got it going. And so you asked me the question in return, what was the main event that really spurred me towards changing my life, right? And it was actually the Walmart parking lot in Centerville, Utah, when my ex-wife told me that she was taking the kids and moving back to Montana. She put them in a U-Haul, and they left.
Right.
You know, we had plans to move here as a family, like a weird broken family, but that was still, you know, the plan. And then at some point, a few days later, I got a phone call about something that she did, and that was the moment that actually broke me. Like, I thought I was broken when she left, and then some other things happened, and that's when I was really like, okay, so this is what rock bottom feels like, you know? And I had two choices. I was either going to end my life, or I was going to live. And here I am, so I chose the latter, right? Like, I chose to live, and what that means to me is I chose to start loving myself, right? I started investing my time in church, in the gym, in eating better, in doing things that I enjoyed, just journaling and positive affirmations, and surrounding myself with people that cared about me too and built me up. And it's been 16 months of applying that stuff intelligently, intentionally, and immediately. That's led me to this training instructor position, because I've taken every opportunity to show people what I'm really all about, and my leadership has recognized that, and I've been blessed. I mean, God did the work through me to take me where I am going and where I'm at right now. So I have to give the credit to him. But yeah, that's really what changed me. You know, if it hadn't been for her just crushing me into dust, I'd still be repeating the cycles and not being mindful and intentional about changing my habits that kept knocking me down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
well, like, you know, you mentioned, like, God working through you. Well, being a conduit is important. You make yourself a conduit for things manifesting in your life through your intention and how you know, they talk about law of attraction, and that's one way of thinking about it, but really you're just programming your mind to see the things in the world and to take the actions you need to take to make things happen.
Absolutely.
So, like, if you're, you know, the fact that, and it sounds like you basically really embraced a holistic lifestyle after you're talking, you know, so mental, physical, spiritual, you're trying to cover the whole spectrum of holistic health, right?
Well, it was 5.
That's what kind of brought you out of it.
5 pillars. So it's the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial. Because my bankruptcy had just gone through, and I went from having a 790 credit score to 450. And in this time, I'm already almost back to 700.
Wow.
Which,
good.
so again, being intelligent, intentional, and immediate in my actions and my purpose to like I am succeeding in my growth, and
it
is absolutely a holistic
It's visible.
approach.
I've seen it, and like you said, you've seen things that I've worked on since you've met me, and since I've met you, I've seen you. Right, you're continuing to grow. But like I said, I think it really comes down to you have to train your mind to, because the things that you want, they just kind of happen, because your mind is so, at least mine does. It makes my subconscious mind start to put things together, and you start to, things that you didn't want to do before, you find yourself doing them because it's part of getting to that goal.
Yep, absolutely. And it's very important. Some people get caught up in what you said about things that you want just happen. Well, they just happen because you're putting in the work.
Right.
It's not magic. Even if it's subconscious or you've been training your mind to just recognize and seize opportunity when it's provided to you.
Yes.
You're, in some way, shape, or form, as you grow and become healthier, you're actively putting in effort to make yourself and your situation better in everything that you do.
Right.
And I think that's where true holistic well-being happens and shines, is when you're intentionally making choices that spur growth for you.
Right, and I think it's a good point to point out that it's not you don't just sit there and go, I want a car, and poof, it appears.
Yeah.
No, it's like you're right. You kind of, that's what I mean. You reprogram your mind to kind of take those actions and those steps you may not have taken.
Yep.
And now that you've reprogrammed your mind, and even your subconscious, that thing's working while you're sleeping too. So you're thinking about the things during the day, like you're looking forward to, with your podcast, you're going to be taking steps to do things for the podcast now because you're on that trajectory. So you're going to see the doors that you need to open to get to those end states.
Absolutely.
Where you would not have seen them before if there's something that wasn't on your radar.
Yep.
So it just shows you what doors to open to get to that thing, and it feels effortless when it's something that it's like a labor of love. That's what I mean by just happens. It feels effortless because it's like, some people call it synchronicity, right? Like things just seem to happen so perfectly.
Yes.
But it's because it's cause and effect. You have done things to get to that. You open the right doors to get to that point.
Because purpose aligns with values, right?
Yeah,
and when
absolutely.
that happens, everything else.
Then that is magic.
That is exactly.
That's what the magic is.
It is absolutely magical. What are you've been quiet. You've been quiet.
This is how I am.
So I got a good segue to her.
Yeah.
So you talked about how holistic living really kind of grew you into this person who was getting ready to end their life, right?
Absolutely.
Well, yoga is precisely a holistic system. So why don't you talk about
unity. It's union. So I did an Ultra Ragnar relay in July. So there were 5 of us and we ran 200 miles. We each ran 40.
What?
Yeah, we each ran 42 miles. And after that I came home and I was like, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like, harder than childbirth. I swear, it was. Yeah. Well, my childbirths were easy, granted.
She's a unicorn, I told you.
Yes, absolutely.
But I came home and I had this new self-love form. That's when I started to really love myself. Okay, just a second.
Dad timeout.
So it switched something for me. That's when I started to love myself. I lost 30 pounds. I was just overall happier too. And that's when I really started getting into yoga and realizing that it's more than just postures and breathing. It's loving yourself, loving others, being nonviolent, and just being a good person overall.
So when we started out today, you can scoot up.
I'm fine.
Okay. We started out talking about the chakras. Can you explain those a little bit,
Cody's better at
name
it than
them?
I am. But yeah, so the crown, third eye, you have your throat chakra, your heart, solar plexus, Sacral's right below your belly button, and then the root chakra.
The root chakra. In case you don't know
dangling
where it is, it is. Yeah, it's so this is the
down in the
symbol
nether
for the root
regions,
chakra.
in the
Yeah.
nethers, in the where the sun don't shine, so to speak.
So it's energy is running through your body. Energy centers that align you.
So
And
that's
so
hard.
that's
That's hard
the-
for people to understand, though. Here's the way people might understand it.
Hold on a second.
Right.
So you've got those energy centers, right? And you're talking about how yoga is so much more than postures and positioning.
Mm-hmm.
I think from what I've been gathering lately, and yoga's been coming into my life a lot more, not just through you guys, but through other people too. And I've always felt that meditation, and even what little I did know about yoga, was that it's so much, in a lot of ways, more about spiritual like connection and mindfulness than being able to like curl your foot behind your head and touch the back of your head.
Yeah.
You know, so can you talk a little bit about that and how that has impacted your practice in your life?
Well, just being gentle with yourself and being honest with yourself, like not trying to push yourself into these crazy postures that you see on the internet, because that's not what it's about. It's about connecting with yourself and finding who you really are, your true self.
Absolutely.
Well, let me just add this to it, though. It is about the postures in a sense that, remember you read to us in the beginning of our class today about how whatever you can, so if you have a posture, like somebody can go super deep, they can wrap their head around and touch the back, oh, something crazy, right? You can't do that, but you're at a certain point in the posture that you can do. And so the postures, if you do the yoga, that's why it's called practice. Just like doctors practice medicine, you're always practicing. Like you never fully master it.
Yeah, it's a dedication.
It's a lifelong, and if you believe in reincarnation, multiple lifelong journey. But the point is, every time it's like somebody who's really accomplished in a posture, there was a journey from when they started to that point.
Yeah.
So it is about both the mental. It's just as much like my one sentence sales pitch is that it's just about the mind as it is about the body, because the mind allows. Remember we talked about getting to those points.
Yes.
Those postures, you use the mind to get to the point where you can do them at an advanced level. You just start opening those doors to get to being. So you put in the time to do the stretches and do the drills, and so it's kind of the same thing that we're talking about earlier.
Part of
how
it is a
applies to yoga.
dedicated practice to the postures and meditation
Both.
Okay.
as well.
All right.
Looking within yourself.
That's more than I've known about yoga in about 25 minutes right there. And 5 pillars: emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, and financial well-being, and a holistic approach to overall wellness. We've talked a little bit about parenting, we've talked a little bit about friendship, compassion, self-love, mindfulness, and how to be intelligent, intentional, and immediate in your actions to improve your situation and change the things that you want to change about you. So I always ask everyone this question, and it's for each of you to answer individually before we close out. Just one thing. If you could share one thing with your community, with the United States, with the world, that you think would just limit divisiveness, the tribe mentality, and a focus on how differences make us different, as opposed to how differences make us stronger, to bring people closer together, what would that be?
Be kind.
Again, kindness.
Yeah, spread light and love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, be kind, but I think that a good way to be kind is, what I would say would be to pick your battles wisely.
Absolutely.
Wisely, meaning you don't go to battle over every little thing. I used to do that in my old life. I used to go over battle over every little thing, right? But if you choose your battles wisely, you practice letting go. Like, some things you don't need to inject your opinion or disagree or correct people on. Just pick your battles wisely. That applies to personal relationships as well as like waging wars between nations. Like,
Absolutely.
pick your battles wisely.
I completely agree. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 6. What did you guys think? I think we did a great job.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time. So you can catch Kayla and Cody on their Instagrams at B_Bloomed Yoga and BBloomed Yoga. do you have any other social media out there? Do you have any other content that you want people to go and
Just
check out?
that in our Facebook, like our personal, like Cody Breckenridge, Caleb Breckenridge. We're working on launching our YouTube channel. My buddy Brandon, who lives across the street, is a web developer. We're getting our website ready.
Fantastic.
So good things coming. Just follow us on Instagram, BBloomed Yoga, and you can see what's coming up. And then follow Andrew Carroll at Andrew Carroll Presents, and subscribe to this channel to see more of this wonderful bearded strong man.
I appreciate and love you guys. Thank you so much
Love
for
you.
playing with me. I love you guys too. Take care. Have a beautiful day.